What is going on, everyone, and welcome to week 5's From the Beginning series. It's been a bit of a unique week, so unfortunately we only got 2 races done, and unfortunately only one of them races counted. We had a very unique situation where somebody decided to drive their car into a power pole in our suburb and took out power to the whole housing estate, and I was about 1.5 k's into a 17 lap race around Oran Park. So unfortunately, had our first, did not finish for the season, which was pretty sort of upsetting at the time. I guess you could say I was pretty frustrated, but now that I've sort of calmed down about it, it is what it is. It's part of it. It would be no different than having a mechanical fault. So we'll go through that result, which obviously has wiped out quite a bit of iRacing and a little bit of safety, but then we had a second race and we rebounded quite well. So for the week it's not been too bad. We were planning on getting a third race done, but unfortunately we've just run out of time again. So it's just been a little bit crazy coming up to Christmas and a few other things. So hopefully you guys are enjoying these. I really appreciate everybody that watches them every week, and I hope you're learning something. This week we're going to go into a little bit of detail on race starts and how to start the car, so hopefully you might pick up something there. And that's pretty much it, guys. So let's get into week 5's From the Beginning. Alright guys, so the topic of today is going to be talking about race starts. Now, obviously the famous saying is to finish first you must finish, but in saying that, you can also throw it away at the start of a race as well. So you need to be sort of balanced in your approach, and getting a good race start is paramount to actually having a decent race. If you have a really bad start, you put yourself behind before the race has even begun, and then all of a sudden you've got all this extra work to do trying to catch up. So every car has a very specific way of starting. Some cars are rolling starts, obviously, so that's a little bit more manageable. Some cars launch quite easily. Some cars take a lot more sort of precision and sort of, I guess you could say, systems in place and a sort of a routine with it to actually make it work. So the Mx5 is quite an easy car to start, to be honest with you. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. For myself personally, I like to be on the clutch. Obviously, you can see it says that I'm not quite at the top of the pedal. I am. I've got a dead zone set at the top of the pedal by 1%, so I'm just below that. So always have that. Now, RPM's a very unique thing in the way that you actually launch the car. So you can hold it flat and launch, but I don't feel like sometimes that's enough. I feel like sometimes when you do that, the car tends to bog down a little bit. So what I tend to do is when I release the pedal or when I release the clutch, I release it to sort of like, I would say like 40% left on the bike, and then try and drag the clutch out. So, and I don't go to 100% RPM. I don't like that extra RPM. So I sort of go to about 45, and then I release it and see how the car sort of drives off, and then I release the rest of the clutch as we're going. So it's just a different way of doing it. So you can sort of tell, but when I drove off, the car sort of grabbed and gripped and then drove away. It didn't sort of bog down. Another way I see guys do it is they late tilt the light goes green, and then they shift the gear and let go of the clutch at the same time. Now that's effective, but you can still hear that little bit of bog down in it. So it's just a matter of finding what works for you. Like I said, the MX5 is quite an easy car to get started. We will definitely be doing videos on different cars as we go through different series and stuff like that. Like the Porsche Cup, for instance, is quite a tricky car to start. So is the Supercar. There's a couple of cars like that. So that's pretty much it, guys, on the way of starting. Well, guys, unfortunately, like we said at the intro, our first bit of bad luck's happened for the season. So race 1 of the week did not go to plan at all. We gridded up in 5th position. We had pretty decent pace. Was looking forward to being in our first top split race. We were car 8 out of 12, and it was looking pretty positive. And then I got 3/4 of the round the lap, and the power in the house went out, and it was out for 6.5 hours. So unfortunately, somebody up the road actually hit a power pole and took out the power to the whole suburb. So we were out power for most of the day. So, which is unfortunate. It's sort of given us our first stroke of bad luck, but at the same time, that's racing. It's no different to having a mechanical fault during a series. So we just have to regroup and rebounce and have better luck for the rest of the season, hopefully. So as you can see, we were still top split. It was 2300 strength of field. We lost 65 I rating and zero point 0.8 safety. So I'm not sure how we lost safety. I'm wondering if maybe we had, like, when you disconnect, sometimes you don't exactly disconnect straight away. So maybe there was contact. Yeah, it's saying we had 4 incidents. So I'm thinking maybe there was contact somewhere as well. So I was filming it, but it's corrupted the file and everything. So we've got no information at all about what happened. So, but yeah, there you go, guys. So could have been on for some decent points in that one. And these are the results, guys, for race 2 of the week. A little bit better than obviously the first one. Split 2, so we dropped back down, but we were right near the front of split 2. So we're right on that bubble, really, of tops of split 2, mid to bottom of split 1, depending on who sort of joins the session. So we gained all the I rating we lost back in the first one, obviously. Safety wasn't great to us, but we had a couple of incidents just pushing hard. Had a cracking battle with Jax. Pretty sort of pumped for that, to be honest. Probably had the best start of the season so far with the race starters. Quite happy with how it's gone. Fastest lap of the race, so that's always a good little bonus to tick off. Led 6 laps, so unfortunately didn't lead the last lap, which is where it counts. But the fact that how the first race went to just bounce back to where we are meant to be, I'm very happy. So it's put us a little bit behind. We've got 130 I rating to gain by the end of next week. So we should do it with 2 more good races, but you never know what's going to happen either. So looking forward to it. Okay, so now looking at the championship standings after week five's races, we are currently 73rd in the world out of 22,522 drivers. So that's a pretty cool little stat there. So we're in that top 100. Pretty happy with that. The point score from us to the guy in first is 318 points roughly. Just with a quick calculation. So quite a way off him, obviously, but that's what happens when you're in a lower div. You're not getting the same strength of field, so you're not able to score as many points per race. And the guy's got 7,000 I rating, so he's obviously always going to be in that top split race. So that's fine, but that's a very good start. So very happy with where we're sitting overall. And then let's look at our division for this season at a 9,571 drivers. We're currently P2 now. So we've actually closed the gap to Bernard a little tiny bit by the looks of it. I think he had a 30-point lead on us last week. So we're down to 13 points now, so between us. And then Jack, who you saw have a cracking battle with in the second race this week, he's closed up the gap and now he is only 6 points behind me as well. So it's pretty tight between the top 3 of us. And then there's 30 points to fourth. From me to fourth, so not too bad. These boys around me have done a lot of race starts, and I've just got that funny feeling that once this all shakes out and averages and drop rounds come into equation, you're going to see a slightly different shift in the week of racing. So once it starts to average out and use your best 8 weeks, I think there'll be quite a few shifts. So, but so far so good. Very happy with it, and that's pretty much it for the week. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you next time.